going to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Listen, you know you're doing something right when people in the comment section can't tell the difference between your off-season and your pre-contest. Isn't that right, Hunter Labrada? Last week, Hunter posted these progress photos to show off one of the cleanest looking 275-pound off-season looks that we've seen from anyone all year long. And at this point, this almost feels like par for the course with him, because it seems like he can be ready to flip the switch at a moment's notice. And if he keeps progressing at this rate, it won't be long before we start hearing his name mentioned as a legitimate title contender. It's been a few years since we had an athlete pull off back-to-back Arnold Classic and Olympia wins in the Men's Open. But according to Brandon Curry, it's about time to put a stop to that. After a quick conditioning check last week, Brandon said that he had every intention of repeating what he did back in 19 when he became the first athlete in almost a decade to pull off the season sweep of the 2 biggest events on the schedule. And here's the thing. The version of Brandon that we saw a few weeks ago is better than the one we saw a few years ago. So if there's anyone in the Open who can pull off a feat that's been all but impossible to accomplish, it's Brandon. We don't have a huge sample size of athletes moving up from Classic to the Open, but I'll tell you what, if Brian Jones keeps progressing like this, it might open up the floodgates because he's starting to look more and more dangerous every time we see him. The latest word from Jones' camp is that his weight is holding steady about 245, which is about 10 or 15 pounds more than where he was at this same point last season. Everyone who watched him compete in Classic has seen what he brings to the table with his shape and symmetry. So if he can add more quality size to make himself competitive, he could be a force in the division at some point down the road. It's still pretty early in the season, so we haven't gotten a chance to see what the landscape of the 212 division will look like yet this year. But based on what we've seen from Kerith Bajo lately, it feels pretty safe to say that he's going to find himself back in the winner's circle before it's all said and done. Even though he had a strong regular season last year, I think the 8th place finish at the Olympia really solidified his status as one of the top talents in the division. So if he can continue to build on that foundation, there's a real opportunity for him to break into the top 5 if a few things break in his direction. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.